everyone, John here from All Miniatures Great and Small. Today's What's on the Table is my latest project. I've been working on my Norwegians for Team Yankee World War III game from Battlefront. The Norwegians use a lot of M113 based vehicles. M113 is a American troop transport, basically an APC, that has been used by many countries. Now, my Norwegian army that I'm building has a lot of Leopard 1s in it, and I am using Battlefront kits for those. I think they're great kits, and I had some, and I picked up an extra box. But I didn't want to wait for the Norwegian or Nordic special stuff to come out, because it's still a ways off. We have the book out, so that I didn't want to have to wait. So when you have a 3D printer, a lot of times you don't have to wait. So I sat down and did some searching online and found some M113s and printed them off. So these are from M. Bergman, who can be found on Thingiverse and Cults 3D. He makes some really cool models. He makes a lot of models in this scale. I will say they're not the most detailed models you can find, but that's okay. They are very nice models, and most of his stuff he doesn't charge for. It's just on there for free. You just download it, which is amazing. He had a M113 pack like last month, but when I went to go shoot this, I couldn't find it. And that pack had about 30 different variants of the M113, including some Norwegian specific ones. I can't find that particular one, but his stuff is kind of just sprinkled everywhere. So again, if you search for M. Bergman. So what I have here is some models that I'm going to be using in my Norwegian force. So these are the mortar variants. So this is the I think it's the M106, maybe they call it in American service, but it's got the 120 millimeter mortar in the back. Now, Battlefront typically overscales their barrels, which I like because it's a gaming piece. You don't want it to look flimsy. So when you see more correctly scaled barrels on these miniatures, you might think that they look tiny or too small. Well, that's probably more accurate. They're more prone to breaking. I actually like the Battlefront fatter barrels aesthetically on the miniature table. I think it's cool, but for what this is, which is a free model that's out there, and I mean, look at it. It's got great detail. Now, I oriented this probably wrong on my build plate, and you see I ended up with some lines here. Sorry, I have Nuln oil all over my hands from another project. And that is on me from how I oriented it when I printed it. But, I mean, very nice models. So I printed up 4 of those. I've got a couple of the way the Norwegians do their infantry platoons. They can have 4 APCs in the squad. 2 of them have this I think it's a 20 millimeter cannon turret, and then 2 of them are more standard M113s without the turret, just a machine gun. So those ones are going to be Battlefront, but this one, since he had it, I printed it out. So, and that barrel's nice and oversized, so it hopefully won't break during gameplay. But again, you can see these. He's modeled these all correctly. So I've got a couple of those to go with my infantry. I am going to order some Battlefront Norwegian infantry when they're available. I might just have to proxy maybe some British while I'm waiting. I do have some Battlefront British infantry. I haven't seen good 3D printed like more niche models like Norwegians or Swedes or Finnish infantry, so I can wait. So this is what they after I 3D print them, and the whole hull and track is one piece with this guy. The turret is a separate piece, and the hatch, the commander's hatch, I guess, is a separate piece. So really assembling this is like 3 pieces. The mortars were just 2 pieces. The so I've got some that I'm in the process of painting, so I can kind of show you the progress. I forget what these are off the top of my head, but they basically have the anti-tank missile version. So it's like what is that, the ATV that the Americans have. So I think it fires tow 2, if I remember correctly. You can take them in tow 1 or tow 2. And it has a pretty nice detailed turret. And again, this model is a different hull than that model. But this again was, I think this one was 3-piece as well. You printed the hull, the hatch with the machine gun, and then this little turret. Now, for the life of me, just if you go down this route, this turret, see how it sits up? I thought that whole plug went down there, so I started sanding, thinking, boy, this guy really made the turret way too tall. But then I looked at more pictures and I'm like, oh, it's supposed to be that tall, so that's on me for being goofy. So I printed 4 of these. They can come in platoons of 2 or 4. Also, every nation in Team Yankee needs anti-aircraft. The Norwegians use, I think it's an NM135 is the designation. I can't remember off the top of my head. But anyway, basically it's like a man-portable anti-aircraft missile in the hatch of another M113. You see what I'm saying here? The Norwegians use a lot of M113s. Now, I could not find in the Bergman set or any set and that might be the NM135 now that I'm thinking about it, but I couldn't find one that was set up like this. So I actually went into Blender and built this anti-aircraft missile launcher myself. And then I just got an M113 that had an open hatch, which there were plenty in this set. I'm hoping it's the same hull, but you know, it's close enough for me. The Battlefront model does have a little guy sitting in a chair on here, but I just did the launcher itself, which I think sells it that this is an anti-aircraft missile. Real simple 3D model. You know, I could have spent 2 or 3 times the amount of time I spent to add little tiny details to it, but I think it gets across what I wanted. So I printed out a bunch of those, glued them into the open, you know, the open hatch in the back of the M113, and then I've got, I think I made 8 of these because that's the max you can take. They don't have really any other dedicated anti-aircraft units, short of, I think, U.S. Marine support. You can take some Hummers with the stingers on them. But anyway, so you can see I've got quite a few different versions of M113s in the Norwegian force. I've got the mortars, I've got the APCs, I've got the anti-tank version, I've got the anti-air version, plus I'm going to have the Leopard 2s. I also, in this project, am working on some Viggens that I did not 3D print. I bought them from China, and you can see my separate review of that to get my opinion on those models. But anyway, there you go. So, and this is kind of in different states of completion. This one's almost done. If I can track down some Norwegian decals, maybe it'll get some. These need weathering and highlighting, and obviously I need to do everything with those. But there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed this What's on the Table as I continue my Nordic experience with the Norwegians for Team Yankee World War III. Thanks for watching, guys, and keep on gaming.